your host with the most, Janabelle, as always. Welcome back. So, I'm going to be talking about a movie that I have yet to actually talk about on my channel. I've brought it up before, and that movie is the first Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984. The controversy of this movie when it first came out. So, obviously, 1984, when this movie came out, that was like, I was literally born that year. Just starting my first Christmas, or spending my first Christmas, whatever. But when this movie came out, there was an uproar because, you got a movie portraying Santa who's going around killing people. Yeah, so parents were not happy about that, and plus, too, I think the ads were kind of like starting to be put on like during the afternoon when kids were awake and would be seeing this. So understandably, yeah, I could see people being kind of like upset, but I don't know, why don't you try parenting and be like, oh, honey, like, don't worry, that's an adult movie, like, that's not the real Santa, like, Santa would never do that. I'm just saying, but I get the uproar. But anyway, so enough about the sort of controversy when this came out, and I know that because the parents were like really upset about this, movie was eventually pulled from theaters after a few weeks, so whatever. But Silent Night, Deadly Night. I gotta be honest, like, this is not like I love my 80s slashers. A lot of you guys know that. This is not like one of my favorites. I literally watched this for the first time yesterday in probably a good 5 years, 6 years maybe. Yeah, I mean it's fine and dandy and all, but it's just not one that I've ever really totally gotten into. And I don't know if it's because like just like that first few scenes or whatever with like the fake Santa, but the Santa who we all know is going to be like the bad person, is going to do something bad, and that whole like raping of the mother and like the dad and everything is getting killed. I don't know, it just maybe because just the whole like rape scene, it's a little difficult and stuff. Like obviously rape is something that happens, but it just and the fact that like I feel like I can like justify it a little bit more if like something happened to that fucking Santa and like I don't know, but I just don't really feel resolved from that. But like whatever, I'm not gonna sweat over it. I'm not gonna like hate the movie just because of that scene. I get why that scene's in there because it's gonna have a very traumatic effect on young Billy, who sees all this, and his little baby brother's like next to him or whatever, but his little baby brother's so young that he's really not going to remember much of this night. But yeah, Billy definitely traumatized from this and everything. Him and his brother end up becoming obviously orphans. They're in this orphanage and everything run by nuns, and the nuns are not that nice either. So he just keeps getting like traumatized and like whatnot by these nuns. This was back, because when this came out, it obviously was in 1984, but, obviously it kind of, like, goes back about 10 years before that, just for, like, story purposes and build-up and everything. So then we would cut to, like, modern-day 1984, where Billy's grown up, he's almost turning 18, he needs a job, no one's ever adopted him, so he needs to start kind of, like, learning some life skills and everything, because he can't obviously stay at the orphanage forever. So he gets a little, stock boy room position at this little toy store around the holidays. And, he's kind of doing his thing, whatever. And then something happens where he's got to don a Santa suit. Winning! But yeah, so he's got to do this. He's kind of like, oh, like you could tell, like, well, he doesn't want to do it, but doesn't really want to rock the boat. He's very kind of socially awkward for obvious reasons. And so then something happens where he sees one of the girls who I think he's kind of got a little thing on because he's like fantasized about like, being in bed naked with her and doing the hanky pank and doing all sorts of naughty adult things. I'm just saying. So, she sees him with another guy and they're kind of doing whatever, so they get a little like spat or something, I think, and he ends up killing her. That girl had a nice rack. I'm just saying. Can I just say that right now? I know I'm a girl, but that girl has a nice rack. Just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, there's a number of boobies in here too, by the way. So, plus Leona Quigley's in here, so you know, pretty much any of her early stuff, her boobies are coming out. I'm just saying. She does have a nice death scene though, where right onto those antlers. I'm just saying. You know, Leona Quigley. Oh, the amount of crazy ass shit that you had to do in these horror movies, I appreciate. You got it mounted by a freaking deer's antlers. You danced on top of a gravestone with a fake vagina on. Yeah, in Return of the Living Dead. And then your nipple was literally eating a tube of lipstick in Night of the Demons. Like, thank you, Leona Quigley. Thank you for being that girl who is not afraid to do anything. In all seriousness, thank you, Leona Quigley. Like, because not all females would do that. Not all females would be willing to do that. I'm just saying. If someone asked me to, you know, take a mold of my vagina, I'd be like, fuck you, get away from my vagina. Just saying. I'm just saying. But yeah, anyway, it's totally off track. But Silent Night, Deadly Night. So, yeah, of course, you know, Billy, after these events, goes on a killing spree and asking, have you been nice or naughty? And if you say naughty, then yeah, you're gonna get killed. You know, I mean, it's not like a terrible, terrible movie. I mean, I know there's been, like, worse movies, but like I said, I've just never been the biggest fan of this. I'm not gonna totally knock it. It does have its moments for me and everything. You know, and I know that I have said about this movie in the past, actually earlier this year, I believe, that I do feel like this movie's a little overrated, but at the same time, especially with watching it yesterday or a few days ago, depending on when I post this video, I understand why people really do love it. You know, I get it. You know, the storyline in itself and how it tells how Billy kind of got to this point and everything. It's a pretty decent story for what it is. So, but yeah, like I said, it's just not totally me. Decent little slasher, but whatevs. Give me Black Christmas any day. I'm just saying. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments of Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original. Till next time, as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.